pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Well, this is a real pleasure to have so many people here with us today and new guests. And I would like if our guests would stand and just give your name so we get to kind of put a name with a face. You start here.
I'm Celia Funk.
Okay.
I'm her mother, Millie Burton Funk, and we heard about it through an email from AFP.
I'm Kathy Farnworth. I'm here with my mother, who's a member, Marilyn Busey.
I used to be a member.
Marilyn Busey was a member, and we just kind of keep her on there anyway. We don't let go of anybody.
And Jane Buck.
And Jane Buck is very involved with DAR. I'm Margie Burnett. And Margie Burnett has been a past member, and we're going to twist her arm. She said she'd sign up with us in January, so that's good. Okay, and do we have any other new people?
Betsy Richardson.
I'm Betsy Richardson, and I'm with Ann. I came with Ann Cash.
She lives in Bologna still.
Okay. And then we also have our district director sitting back here. Okay. Diane Tillotson. Right. This has been a busy month. And we just went opening up headquarters and getting, pardon me? Oh, excuse me. Would you please stand and give us your name? Would you please stand and give us your name? Yes, I know you've been here. Well, no, you're not a stranger.
But I'm Jerry Schmidt.
You're not a stranger. And then we have,
My husband, Byron
right,
Michelson.
Byron Michelson. And of course we have over here, we have our next county commissioner, Jerry Jackson. Boy, we really need him there very, very badly. And I have to tell you, I go to the forums that Jerry does. I try and make Jerry is doing an outstanding job at these forums. And I just kind of hurt for Ann Schuster when we're there because she really struggles at times. And that's an uncomfortable place to be. But Jerry shines, and that's what we like. So, I need to tell you a little bit about how I came across George Taylor. It's when the global warming thing first started, and I was really angry about this global warming stuff. And then there was an article in the paper that said that they were going to have a meeting at the college, and they were going to talk about global warming. Well, I thought it was going to be all of this about how it's, global warming is so terrible and all of these things. And when I got there, it was just the opposite, and I was thrilled to pieces that that's what it was all about. And it was packed. It was absolutely packed. And then I went to the each one that came up because it was so interesting to me, and I just wanted to be there to hear it over and over again so that I could get it in my head that there is not global warming, and we need to tout that as much as we possibly can. And there was I didn't have time, but I should have copied it off. There was just a little thing on the internet this morning that said something in regards to Obama not being able to really give credit to global warming. And I thought, okay. So, but I'm thrilled to have Dr. Taylor with us. And he is a certified consulting meteorologist, a member of the American Meteorological Society. He is a former director of the Oregon Climate Service at Oregon State University in Corvallis, a position that he held from 1989 until his retirement on May 1st, 2008. Dr. Taylor is well known for his honesty and his integrity in his message. And he is president of Applied Climate Service on Columbus Boulevard. And so I apologize for not having the little loudspeaker here today because it's in my house somewhere. I can't find it right now because we're going through a lot of changes. And so we'll just have to speak loudly. And if you can't hear, yes?
It's at my house, and I forgot it.
Oh, I'm so glad. Will you give it back to Will you, PJ, will you give it back to Lou? And she said she'd be responsible for that. And I don't have to think of one more thing that I have to do. So that's wonderful. I'm afraid I lost it. And I thought, oh my gosh, what did I do with that? Because our house is anything but simple these days. My son has his business at our home, and our barn is a cabinet shop. And we have employees in and out, and if you come to my house, don't expect it to be clean. It will not be because of the dust that comes from the shop. I've almost given it up, and I just wait till I can gather it together and throw it out. Anyway, it's something else. But so, Dr. Taylor.
I'm not a doctor.
You're not a doctor?
I ran out of money after I got my master's degree, and I never looked back.
Oh,
so
well, we'll think of you as a
you
doctor.
can just call me George. You don't have to call me master. Yeah, and I want to thank Pat for helping me. Well, she lined this up and then helped me with the impromptu screen. This is our screen we're using today. And I hope you can see the pictures, but if you can't, let me know and I'll send you the slide set if you want to see it. I'm glad to send it to you. So.
Speak aloud, that's all.
Yeah, and I'm going to wander around a little bit too because I got this thing which is going to give you a problem, isn't it? You can track me wherever I go.
Yeah, just speak up because I don't always get a good audio.
What?
Sometimes this doesn't give a good audio.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm just going to go right to the slides. You know, a picture is worth 1,000 words, so I have 50,000 words here. And I can show pictures much faster than I can talk. This is an old Newsweek cover. You've seen them, you're probably sick and tired of them. I certainly am. We keep hearing more and more about not just global warming, but environmental catastrophes.
Yeah.
You know, 35 years ago, it was global cooling was the worry, and it was all because of people and all that air pollution we were sending up, and it was blocking sunlight, and temperatures had been going down, and they were worried about crop failures, but it's all because of people.
Yeah.
Well, that started to change, and it started warming up again, and so then we started hearing about acid rain. Remember that? And that lasted about 10 years, and then EPA commissioned a study, and it was called the National Acid Precipitation Assessment Program, and they concluded that acid rain was, at worst, a minor problem in the U.S. In other words, it's no big deal. Never mind. Well, EPA, have you heard anything about the EPA study that refuted acid rain? No, I didn't hear about it for 10 years and I'm in the field. Well, and then there was stratospheric ozone caused by people and their chlorofluorocarbons and other stuff, and that was, you know, if we pass this legislation and spend all this money on new products, the problem's going to go away. Well, we spent a lot of money and nothing has changed over Antarctica. And then there's global warming, and well, you probably know a lot more about that. In 20 years, my prediction in 20 years is we're not going to be hearing anything about global warming anymore.
Good job.
It's going to join the list of things that we used to think were problems, but really aren't so bad. That's my prediction. So, any questions so far? Okay. Last year, the big deal was the polar vortex that hit the upper Midwest. It brought really cold temperatures, one of the worst winters ever. And this is a poster from Montanans for Global Warming. But this is just an example of how extremes like this are still attributed to global warming, only now they call it climate change. And climate change is because of people. Now, I study weather and climate. My degree, my master's degree is in meteorology, which is the study of the atmosphere, but we study weather and we study climate. And they're kind of the same, but a little bit different. Does anybody know the difference between weather and climate? Weather's what's going on right now. Yeah, average over a period of time. Yes, thank you. It's a matter of time scale. But I have two other definitions that I really like. And the first one came from a second grade girl. Years and years ago, I was asked by one of the Sunday school teachers in my church to come and talk to her first and second grade class about my job. And I said, at the time I was the state climatologist, Oregon climatologist. There's a word in there, climate. Do any of you kids know the difference between weather and climate? Mr. Taylor, weather is rain and climate is snow. Oh, that's pretty good, Billy. I mean, for a first grader, that's pretty good. And I got answers like that, and they're cute. I love little kids. And then Amy raised her hand, little Amy. And Amy was in second grade, and she said, well, Mr. Taylor, weather is what you get, and climate is what you're supposed to get.